We're ready to proceed with the second witness today. Mr. Usher, may he be brought in, please?
I, Lamin Jah.
I, Lamin Jah.
Do swear that.
Do swear that.
I'll speak the truth.
I will speak the truth.
The whole truth.
The whole truth.
And nothing but the truth.
And nothing but the truth.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Good afternoon, Mr. Witness. You're welcome to the TRRC. Thank you for coming today to testify before the Commission. You already know my name, but for the record, I'm Hadidande Jabi, and I will be guiding you through your testimony today. You have opted to speak in the Wolof language.
Yes.
So in that aspect, you will need to listen to the interpreters after my question, and then you will answer in Wolof, and they will interpret again in English.
Yes.
Okay? Thank you. Can you state your names for the record?
My name is Lamin Jah.
Thank you. Mr. Jah, today we have a few issues that we will go through. And first of all, we'd like you to understand that before this commission, everything you say has to be the truth and only the truth. If you say otherwise, there might be consequences that you may face.
Yes.
Mr. Jah, ñu ngi laa dalal fii ci commission bi ma ñu waxal la nag li nga xam ne moom la ñoo war a waxtaanee te di la fàttali tamit ne fii lépp loo fi wax dëgg la war a doon doo fi waxee loo xam ne daal doonu dëgg bon yoon dina la daan.
Some of the issues that we shall go through today shall be
li ñoo waxtaanee si tey bokk na ci yi ma lim si nii.
The conditions of the detention centers at Mile 2 prisons, being the different wings.
Mile 2 prison ni nga xam ne noonu lañ fa dee téye nit ñi ci ñetti fànn yoo xam ne ñu nga fa.
Which is the remand wing, the main yard, and the security wing.
Benn bi ñu di ko wax remand wing, benn bi main yard bi ak fi ñoo wax security wing.
And as we know it, sometimes you will refer to the security wing as the confinement cells.
Te léegi-léegi nag fa ñoo wax security wing foofu la ñoo denc seel ba la ñoo dencal nit ñi foofu.
We shall also talk about your torture.
Dinañ waxtaanee tamit mitital yi nga xam ne dal na la fa.
At the said Mile 2 prison.
Foofu ca Mile 2 prison.
The standard of the food.
Anam yi nga xam ne lekk ga ngeen fa lekkee noonu la mel.
That is given to all types of inmates, whether detainees or those convicted.
Nga xam ne dañ ko dee jox ña nga xam ne ñoom lañ téye foofu ca kaso ba moo xam ñi àtte ba yoon daan leen wala ñi nga xam ne dañ leen fa dencaagum ñuy xaar seen àtte.
The problems faced by inmates when they fall sick.
Jafe-jafe yi nga xam ne niñ téye ci kaso bi loolu lañ fa jànkuwanteel bu fekkee ne feebar nañ.
We shall talk about the issue of the disease called the beriberi.
Dinañ waxtaanee tamit feebar bi nga xam ne ñu ngi ko ooyee beriberi.
We shall go through the medical attention that is given to inmates in the prisons.
Akit li nga xam ne moo di faj gi nga xam ne ñu ngi ko faa def ñiñ téye ci kaso bi foofu ci.
And at this point, I shall hand you over to the commissioners for any questions they may have.
Buñ jeexalee yooyu yëpp nag dinaa la jébbal commissioner yi bu fekkee ne ñoom tam am na luñ la bugg a laaj.
Following that, you shall be given the opportunity to make any comments or recommendations you may have.
Buñ paree ci loolu yëpp nag dinañ la jox kàddu gi bu fekkee ne am na dara loo xam ne bugg nga koo gaaral ak loo ñu bugg a xalaatal mun nga ko faa wax.
Should I ask you any questions that you don't understand, you may ask me again to repeat them.
Bu fekkee ne laaj naa la dara loo xam ne leerut la wax ma ko ma gën la koo leeralal.
Are you ready and comfortable to go on?
Ndax léegi pare nga nag pour ñu eggali.
Yes.
Okay. You've already told us that your name is
Lamin Jah.
Lamin Jah.
Wax nga ñu ne Lamin Jah nga tudda.
Are you known by any other names?
Dafa am beneen tur yuñ la xamee.
Wow.
Yes.
am na ñu ma lay ooyee West.
Some call me Wes.
Thank you. Currently, where do you stay?
Jamono ji fan nga dika?
Serekunda.
In Serekunda.
Sayer Job, 31 Sayer Job Avenue.
31 Sayer Job Avenue.
Thank you. Mr. Jah, that is your official address, but currently, where are you staying?
Jamono ji fan nga dika? Fan nga nekk fi mu nekk jamono ji?
I'm in Mile 2 Central Prison.
I'm in Mile 2 Central Prisons.
How long have you been in prison?
Yow ban diir nga nekk foofu ci kaso bi?
11 years.
11 years.
From your statement, you had indicated that whilst you were attending court, you were placed on remand by the court. Is that correct?
Wax nga fi nag ci kàddu yi nga joxe nii ne jamono ji nga dem ci court bi ñu ngi la teg fi nga xam ne foofu la ñoo wax remand.
Wow.
Yes.
Can you tell this commission in what part of the prison you were held when you were on remand?
Jamono ji nga xamee ne yaa ngi ci loolu ñoo wax remand mooy fiñ la tegagum ngay xaar sa atte ban boor lañ la teg foofu ci kaso bi?
Mile 2 confinement.
Mile 2 confinement.
Which is also referred to as the security wing.
Security.
Foofu tam lañ dee ooyee security wing.
Wow.
Yes.
Is that usually where the remand detainees are kept?
Ndax foofu lañ dee faral di denca ñi nga xam ne ñoo nekk remand. Foofu lañ leen dee faral di denca.
Du ñoom ñëpp am na ñu fa nekk am na detainees yu fa nekk am na convict yu fa nekk am na remand yu fa nekk tam.
It's not all of them. There are some detainees who are there, as well as some of the convicts.
Can you tell this commission why you were sent to the security wing instead of the remand wing?
Ndax di nga mën a wax commission bi nag bu bon lana tax ñoo ñu yóbbu la security wing bañ laa bàyyi fi ñoo wax remand wing.
Waxuñ ma lu tax de.
They did not tell me why.
Who placed you at the security wing?
Kan moo la yóbbu foofu security wing bi?
Prison officers yi ñu ma admit ñoo ma yóbbu foofu.
It was the prison officers that admitted me who took me there.
Mr. Jah, can you tell this commission the conditions that existed at the security wing when you were first placed there?
Mr. Jah, di ñu mun a wax anam yi nga xam ne béréb boobu ñuy wax security wing noonu la nekkee bañ la fa njëkkee yóbbu.
Waaw.
Yes.
ma demee foofu gars yi dama ñëw ñu siil ma buñ ma siilee éponge dañ ma jox éponge joxuñ ma sànke.
When I initially arrived, I was sealed. They gave me a mattress, but not a mosquito net.
Sorry, Mr. Jah, can you just confirm and let us know what is sealment? When you say I was sealed, what do you mean?
Loolu nga xam ne yaa ngi ko ooyee ne dañ la siil soo ko waxee loolu lan la tekki lan lañ la fa dee def.
Siil mooy ñu tëj la doo am res suñ la ubbee la dangaa dem nga sangu nga tuur sa chamber pot ñu dugalaat la ba next day waat.
When you are sealed, it means you don't have a rest. When you allowed outside, it's just to empty your chamber pot and you return back and you are locked.
And you're telling this commission that started from the day that you were sent on remand by the court?
Te dang ñu bëgg wax ne bala court bi yóbboo remand ca bés boobu ci nga commencé lii nga wax nii.
Waaw.
Yes.
Can you tell the commission how long you were on sealment for?
Noonu nga xam ne ñu ngi la doon tëj benn béréb rek teg la fa doo génn lu mooy tuuri poti sambur ak sangu bam diir la toll ñaata weer ñaata fan wala.
daanaka benn weer ak fukki fan ak juróom-ñetta.
It was 1 month, 18 days.
It was 1 month and 18 days.
Yes.
Thank you. So can you now continue and tell us about the conditions of the security wing?
Léegi nag eggalil wax ñu foofu ñuy wax security wing naka la mel.
Seli baawut seli dafa bon because sel buñ ma dugaloon sax amul net ci parenteer bi pare dafa tànga.
The cells were bad. The cell that I was put in did not have a mosquito net, and it was hot inside.
You may continue.
Tànga ba pare condition bi cell bi dafa hot.
And also, it is tight.
What is the ventilation like?
Naka la meloon yaa ngi doon am ngelaw bu faa dugga.
Ngelaw bi bariwul because fu ma nekk si digga la cell bi number 5 laa nekkoon rôle cell yi dañ fa bari man si digga bi lañ ma yóbbu woon.
The air coming in wasn't much
ngelaw bi duy bari.
because my cell was situated in the middle, in the row.
And just to confirm again, at this time you were not convicted. You were on remand, waiting trial.
Pour ñu gën a leeral mbir yi rek mooy ne yóbbuwuñ la koot ba àtte la wane ne dañ la war a tëj dafa mel ni yaa ngi woon remand di xaar pour ñu àtte la.
Yes.
Therefore, it is correct to say, even as per your statement, that at this time you were then also not enjoying some of the privileges that the persons put in remand and usually enjoy.
Bon mun nañoo wax ne foofu nga xam ne fa lañ la yóbbu woon nekkuloo woon di jëriñoo bànneexoo li nga xam ne kuñ def remand loolu la war a jëriñoo mel ni daal liñ la fa doon def utee na ak kuñ def remand di xaar àtte.
waaw utee na.
Yes, it was different.
utee na ndigte ñu nekk remand suñ leen toogalee ñu isi ko dañ la faa duga waaye man fi ma nekk luñ tooga du fa duga.
Because those that are at remand, when they cook food for them outside, it comes inside. But I don't have that privilege.
So, Mr. Jat, that means that you did not have the privilege of your family cooking meals at home and bringing it to the prisons for you.
Loolu lim tekki Mr. Ja mooy ne daal sa mbokk yi mënuñu woon a am ñam boo xam ne dañ la ko toggalee ci biti indil la ko foofu.
dëgg la mooy lu.
That's true.
Can you tell us what they were allowed to bring for you?
Léegi wax ñu lan lañ daan nangu pour sa mbokk yi indil la ko.
mooy tin foods.
These were tin foods, corned beef, sardine,
sugar, meew, coffee,
sugar, milk, coffee, the sort of items, and the soup. Toothpaste, toothbrush,
towel, and those things.
Towel, and others.
Did you find any need to question why you were put in the security wing instead of the remand?
Ndax jotoon nga mun a laajte lan moo tax ñu yóbbu la foofu ñuy wax security wing bi bañ laa yóbbu fa nga xam ne mooy remand ba nga waroon a nekk.
la teew ma ko ndigte dama fa gis ay yeneen ñoo xam ne ñu ngi leen fa indi te ñoom tam bàyyi raay dañ am problème comme ni ma amee problème.
I did not ask them because I also saw others who were brought there who had similar problems just as I have.
So you're telling this commission that it is the norm that people who are placed on remand waiting for trial are normally kept in the security wing.
Bon dang ñu bëgg a wax ne nit ñi nga xam ne ñu ngi leen war a indi remand pour ñu xaar ñu àtte leen ñi ci ëpp ñu ci léegi-léegi dañ leen dee faral di yóbbu fa ñëw wax security wing.
waaw fekka naa fa ay nit tam fekka nañ ma fa dañ dee jëlee nit remand comme su fa nit amee problème.
Yes, I found people there, and people also found me there. They will usually bring people from remand, especially those who have problems.
Apart from those individuals, do they bring any other persons there?
Lu dul ñooñu ndax indi nañ fa ñeneen.
am na ñu fa lay ici ñoo xam ne comme like ñu ama problème ak Yaya Jammeh.
Yes, there were others who were brought in. For example, those that would have problems with Yaya Jammeh.
Can you tell us how often that was?
Ndax dañ ñu mun a wax loolu naka la dee faral di amee.
nu mu lay faral di amee dañoo toog la gars yi commencé officier yi seen boppa ñu in charge foofu dañ dee ñëw ut ne ñu wax mees booy yi ñu utal leen chamber pot si les sel ut ay empty cell su sel amut gars yi dañ dee mun a jël nit génne ko foofu delloo ko ñuñ paagoot ñu delloo som remind wala ñu jël som combit delloo leen si yaat bi puy space mun a am because that time cells yi dañ feesoon foofu.
That time, the way it used to happen is that because the cells were filled up, the officers themselves will use the mess boys to look for a space among to remove some individuals from the cells and create space for these detainees who have been brought in.
So you're trying to tell this commission that at that particular time, the security wing was always full with persons.
Bol na li ñu bëgg wax fi moy béré bobu ñuy wax security wing jamono bu ci nek rek daf dé fess nit.
Waaw, daf lay fess, daf lay fess step.
It used to be full to the brim.
Can you tell the commission who was the Director General of Prisons at that time?
Jamono boba ndax di ñu mëna wax kan mo nekkon Director General ba?
Waaw.
Yes. David Colley.
Thank you, Mr. Jah. Mr. Jah, how long did you spend at the security wing before you were convicted?
Mr. Jah, security wing bobu ñaata weer wala ñaata fan nga fan nekk bala la yoon di daan pour tëj la?
Daanaka ñaari at.
Almost 2 years.
Can you tell the commission how you spent your time in those 2 years?
Di ñu mëna wax diiri ñaari at yooyu naka nga fa nekkee woon?
Waaw, dama fa nekk di muñ di jaamu Yàlla di bàyyi lépp si loxo Yàlla di ñaan.
I was there, persevering, praying to God, and leaving everything in God's control.
So then upon your conviction by the court and sentencing, can you first tell us how long have you been sentenced by the court?
Gannaaw nag buñ la yóbboo ci court bi ba court àtte ne dañ la war a tëj ndax di ñu mun a wax ñaata appale la court bi tëj?
Waaw.
Yes.
ñaata la?
Court bi daf ma tëj life. 4 counts lañ ma charge.
I was charged on 4 counts and I was imprisoned for life.
Can you tell the court what you were the commission what you were convicted for by the courts?
Di nga mun a wax commission bi lan yu waa la moo la court bi daan moom lañ la àtte.
Dañ ma charge stealing.
I was charged for stealing, rape,
attempt to steal, something like attempt to create from a felony, something.
And an attempt to create a felony.
So the court found you guilty and sentenced you to life.
Léegi nag loi bi daan la ñu tëj la sa giiri dunda.
And you are currently serving that sentence.
Te jamono jooju ci loolu nga nekkee moom lañ la tëjee nii.
Yes.
So can you tell us when you were convicted, at what part of the prison were you remanded in?
Léegi nag biñ la yóbboo court ba loi daan la bañ ne dañ la war a tëj ban boor lañ la tëj ci foofu?
Ci court bi Banjul High Court.
Ci ban boor lañ la tëj ci kaso bi fan lañ ban fànna?
Security wing.
The security wing.
So even after your conviction, you were sent back to the security wing?
Yes.
Gannaaw buñ la yóbboo court sax ba yoon daan la ne dañ la war a tëj dañ la delloowaat fi ñoo wax security wing.
Yes.
Were you at any time taken to the main yard where you were supposed to be rightly kept?
Am na benn jamono joo xam ne yóbbu nañ la ci beneen fànn bi ñoo wax main yard nga xam ne foofu sax foofa lañ la waroon a denca.
Yes.
dañ ma yóbbu main yard ndigte dafa am ñu ñëwoon ñu Yaya Jammeh yónni woon pour ñu indi leen ci kaso bi.
They took me to the main yard because there were some that were brought in there on the behest of Yaya Jammeh.
Can you tell us who they were?
Di ñu mën a wax ñooñu ñu ebaloon ñan la?
Wow. Yes.
am naa si ñeena seen tur ñoom Laay Juuf.
I know some of their names. People like Laay Juuf.
Njogu kii nii Ngor Seka.
Ngor Seka.
Obi Mbay.
Obi Mbay.
Modou Gueye.
Modou Gueye.
Lang Tombong.
Lang Tombong.
Bombardier Kawsu Kamara.
Bombardier Kawsu Kamara.
So when they were brought in,
these are the ones I can recall. When they were brought, Because there were not enough cells, I was amongst those that they were removed to be transferred to the yard.
Can you tell this commission the conditions that you faced at main yard?
Dinga muna wax nak commission bi bañ la yobbo fofu ñuy wax main yard naka nga fa nekké won.
Main yard dafa metti ndik cell yi dañ fess step.
The main yard is hard because the cells are all full up.
Si le dañ la tej life so itera kaso bu mag life.
If you are sentenced for life imprisonment,
dañ la lay mëna jox place do mëna tëdd ci suuf do rang puy am lal yow so ñëwé la dañ la lay jox place nga tëdd.
They always accord you the privilege of having a bed or a place to sleep. You don't always go through the queue. Whenever you come, they give you a space to sleep.
You said it was overcrowded.
Nga ne fofu dafa fesson torop.
Dafa fess step be amna ño xamne ci wanak bi lañ dé fanan.
It was so full that some have to sleep at the toilet.
Mr. Jah, when you say it was overcrowded, can you give us like an estimate of a number of prisoners who would be in one particular cell at any time?
Mr. Jah, so waxé ne fofu dafa fesson be uppa ndax di ñu mëna wax dal ci xayma ñaata prisoner lañ dé dugal ci ben cell ci ben jamano.
Man cell bu ma nekkon ci yard bi moy cell bu gëna ndaw ci yard bi.
The cell that I was in the yard was one of the smallest.
Cell bobu daf lay mëna contain ay 22 prisoners.
That cell can contain up to 22 prisoners.
Why daf su fessé dañ ko lay fessal ba mëna am ay 30 something prisoners.
But if it is full, it goes up to be beyond 30 prisoners. Sometimes it's even more than that. That is why the toilet is usually used.
So use problem.
If you get up in the night to use the toilet, it is always a problem for you to pass through.
Sorry, Mr. Jah, let me take you through it bit by bit. First of all, can you explain what the sleeping conditions were?
Mr. Jah, léegi nañ ko jël jéego par jéego léegi mun nga ñoo wax tëdda bi naka la daan mel foofu.
Tëdda bi moom si kaw lali moom dafa first step.
As for the line conditions, the top part was completely occupied, the beds.
Si suuf.
On the ground.
Si suuf fu nit ñi lay jaar.
Where people used to pass through, that place also was completely full.
So
if you bring down your bed to attempt to pass, it is usually a problem. You must wake some people so that they can create a way for you to pass through. If you also go to the toilet, if you want to use the toilet, there is someone that used to sleep there. You must wake the person.
Use
the toilet. When you are done, the person will continue their sleep there. The distance between the toilet and the place where they take bath, somebody used to sleep in that space. And also, there are usually many problems there.
We will get to that part in a minute. So let's continue about the sleeping. So you're now telling us that it is so overcrowded that even if you need to get up, you need to wake people so that you can walk to get to where you're going.
Léegi dinañ ñëw ci loolu waaye ñu wax nag ci ni nga xam ne noonu ngeen dee fanaanee ni ngeen dee nelawee li nga wax fii mooy ne bu fekkee ne bugga nga dox sax foog nga kenn pour am yoon boo xam ne di nga fa jaar pour romba.
Yes.
Further, that it was so crowded that some of the inmates would even sleep in the toilets.
Nit ñi dañ fa fees ba ëpp ba nga xam ne ñenn ñi nga xam ne ñoom lañ fa tëj dañoo tëdda sax ci wanak yi.
Dëggal am na ñoo xam ne sax duñ mun a tëdda dañ dee toog.
Yes, it's true.
They ut bidong ñu teg ko ci cat yi mun a toog because amuñu space buñ taalal seen tànk.
There are even some who are not able to sleep because of a lack of space. So they'll use these gallons and put them in the corners and just sit on them for the whole night.
We have also received evidence that the way the toilets are are not very functional. Can you tell this commission how inmates were able to sleep in the toilets?
am na ñu fi waxi tamit ne seen wanak yooyu sax du daan dox baaxutoon léegi naka la nit ñi di mun a fanaane ci foofu nga xam ne wanak bi la na dinañu ko mun a wax.
wanak yi gars yi dañ ko lay manage sangookaay bi pompe bi daf lay duy baax daf lay yaaxu waaye booy dañ ko lay def mbuus takka ko. da nga gis suñ ko takkee daf lay tane ndox bi tuuti tuuti la moo tooxa ku faa fanaan moom fu mu jaar muy tooy.
As for the bathroom, the place was not properly kept. The tap there used to leak, but the boys will manage it and they will tie it. But despite that, anyone that slept inside that place usually will get wet.
So, Mr. Jah, apart from the overcrowding and the sleeping condition, what other problems did you all face in the cells?
Mr. Jah, lu ute ak nit ñi bari be ëpp foofu ci sel bi ak jafe-jafe yi ngeen de am pour tëdda foofu yan yeneen façon jafe-jafe ngeen fa dee jànkuwante.
jafe-jafe yi mooy xat bi tàngaay bi.
The other difficulties was the tightness, the heat,
and the smell.
And the smell,
and
the bad smell.
Were there any confrontations?
ndax dina daan am yenn werante yu fa daan am.
werante dina fa lay am si affaire xëccoo booy xale booy ndaw yi nii.
There is always confrontation, especially amongst the young boys.
Mr. Jah, if we may just confirm, you've also served 11 years so far in your sentence.
suñ bëggee dégg wéral rek yow fi mu nekk liñ la tëj tëddaagum nga fukki at ak benn.
waaw.
Yes.
And in those 11 years, you have been to every section of the prison of Mile 2.
te ci biir fukki ata benn yooyu dafa mel ni fànn yi nga xam ne moo nekk biir Mile 2 yëpp jaar nga fa.
waaw.
Yes.
In your statement, you've mentioned that in the first 3 years of your conviction, you were very useful to the prisons.
ci kàddu yi nga xam ne moom nga binda wax nga fi ne sa ñetti at yu njëkk yi nga xam ne moom nga fa def day daan nga njëriñ bu baax kaso bi.
waaw.
Yes.
Can you tell this commission about it?
di ñu mun a wax naka la.
waaw buñ ma yóbboo si yard bi.
When I was taken to the yard,
dañ ma employé yóbbu ma as infirmary boy comme si medic bi may assist medic yi.
they took me as an infirmary boy, and I was given assistance to the medics.
Continue. Tell the commission what you used to do.
That is the place where the sick are admitted. I was there assisting them. When others come, I give them their lunch. I'll be there trying to calm them down. And when the properties also come, I will take them and distribute them to each one of them, their properties.
We dem hospital dama lay muna gene paper mi file mi suñ medic officer bi bindé list bi ñu wara dem.
When the medic officer jots down the name of the individuals who are supposed to go to the hospital, I usually go and bring out their files. And hand it over to each one of them, and then they will give it to the officer before they will proceed to the hospital.
Thank you. So you used to assist them to help inmates go to the hospital.
Jërëjëf bon dang leen daan dimbale pour dimbale ñi nga xam ne ñoom lañ fa tëj ni ñoo demee ba dem ci lopitaan bi.
Wow.
Yes.
And during your work there, you must have encountered and saw different inmates with different illnesses.
Te bon mel ni ci sa jamono ji nga fa nekk noonu dang daan gis façon yi feebar yu bari dang daan gis tamit ñu ci bari ñoo xam ne ñu ngi leen fa tëj.
Wow.
Yes.
Can you tell this commission some of the illnesses that the inmates suffered?
Di nga mën a wax commission bi nag yenn ci façon yi feebar yi nga xam ne ñooñu ñu fa tëj ñu ngi ko doon am.
Wow.
Yes.
Am na ñoo xam ne dañ dee feebar natural feebar comme biir bu metti nii.
Some get sick naturally, for instance, stomach ache.
Am na ñoo xam ne biri biri moo leen dee téye.
Some contract beriberi.
Foofu witness naa fa ñu bari ñu fa dee.
I also witnessed many who have died in the infirmary.
Can you tell the Commission a bit more? When you say you witnessed many who had died, what sort of conditions or what issues caused their deaths?
Dingo muna gëna leeralal commission bi soo waxee ne ñu bari dee nañ fa ci sa kanam ndax di ñu mën a wax naka lañ deeyee ak lu leen rey.
am na ñaar ñoo xam ne bu ñoo dee man maa ngi taxaw sax.
There were two whom you know that by the time they were dying, I was standing.
Can you tell us their names?
Di ñu mën a wax seen tur yi.
Kenn ki Canado la tudda nag santam laa fàtte.
One of them was Chonado, but I forgot the surname.
Remand prisoner la woon so.
And that was a remand prisoner.
And the other one?
Keneen ki nag.
Kooku convict prisoner la teelo sob la nekkoon Assane la tudda Sénégalais la but I don't know the surname.
The other one is a convicted prisoner working as a tailor. Hassan is the name.
Can you tell this commission what caused their death?
Di nga mën a wax commission bi lan moo waraloon seen dee.
Canado moom dafa xala am mental problem.
Chenado was having a mental problem.
Waaye biri moo ko téye tam.
But he also contracted beriberi.
Continue, Mr. Jah.
Canado biri moo ko téye Assane moom biir bu métti moom moo ko disturb woon si kaso bi.
Hassan was having stomach ache. That was what disturbed him at the prison.
Assane bu moo gaañu timis after dañ julli timis la mu commencé di yuuxu si lal bi.
Hassan, the day he died, it was just after dusk prayers. He was screaming.
Time boobu medical officer bi nekku fa.
At that time, the medical officer was not there.
bu mu nekkee di yuuxu ma gis ne lii sonal na ko ma dem ooy beneen suma partner bi prisoner la woon Sadio Makumbaya.
When I saw him screaming, I went and called one of my partners, Sadio Makumbaya.
bu mu ñëwee noonu lañ taxawee di ko dumbale yàggul doon mu nelaw.
As he came, we were there assisting him, but not long after, he slept.
Sadio Makumbaya mu yëkkati loo mi mu laal ko mu ne ma kii dee na de.
But after Sadio Makumbaya raised up his arm and said to me, this guy has died.
After si lañ ooyi medical officer bi gars yi dem si quarters bi oo ko officer yi oo ko.
After they went to the quarters and called the medical officer.
si lam ne léegi nañ ko rap.
That is when he said we should wrap him.
buñ ko raabee Sadio mu ne ma ubbi store bi ma génnee balankaar bi.
When we wrapped, Sadio asked me to open the store and bring in the stretcher.
ñu indee balankaar bi ñu aj teg ko lumas ko égal ko si balankaar bi.
We put him on the stretcher.
ñu téye ko génnee ko yóbbu ko ba si biti si moto bi gars yi aj ko si pick-up.
And took him outside where he was placed on a pickup.
gars yi yóbbu ko Banjul.
And they took him to Banjul.
Mr. Jah, was he able to get any medical attention in the prison before his death?
Mr. Jah bi moo nekk ci prison bi foofu ndax amoon na benn faj boo xam ne daal dimbale woon nañ ko ci balaa moo dee.
mu ngi amee woon ay garab gars yi ko joxoon garab waaye xaw ma exactly garab yu mu loon naan.
Yes.
dama lay gis amox si place am.
He had some medicines, but I don't know what they were. But he had something like amoxicillin.
pare daf loon dem hospital waaye hospital am date am maybe every month once.
And he was also going to the hospital, but it's like his appointments were just once in a month.
On the date of his death, did he receive any medical attention before he passed away?
Bés bi moo dee noonu ndax am na benn faj boo xam ne defal nañ ko balaa moo dee.
non that day moom si ngoon la ko affaire bi gën a sonal bu ko affaire bi sonalee time boobu médic bi ñëwut.
No,
bi nekku fa.
that day it was in the evening when the sickness became more severe. And at that time, the medic wasn't around.
So when an inmate is feeling ill and calls for help and there is no medic present at that time, what action do the officers take?
léegi bu fekkee ne kiñ tëj foofu mu ngi feebar te soxla na ko dimbale pour faj ko te ka ko war a faj nekkut fa léegi ña faa liggéey bon lan lañ dee def.
dañ lee dem ci line bi am na medic officer bu lee stay si quarters bi. dañ lee dem foofu ñu ooyu ko.
They go to the quarters because there's usually a medic officer who stays there.
They
will usually go and call him. But sometimes he would not be there and he will be called. But in some instances, it takes time before he arrives.
Thank you. So in other words, you're telling this commission that inmates do not always get the medical attention at the time they need it.
Jërëjëf bon da nga bëgg wax fii ne daal ñi nga xam ne ñoo tëdd foofu ci kaso bi jamono ju ñoo soxla ku leen dimbale ci seen wàllu wérgu yaram duñ ko dee am ci jamono boobu.
Du ñëpp tam de.
It's not all.
Am na ñoo xam ne suñ feebaree they have medicine, they will have medicine, they prepare medicine for themselves. Dañ dee write prescription. Suñ bindee prescription ñu yónnee ko seen family, they have good medicine.
There are some who have medicines of their own. When they are sick, they used to write prescriptions and send it to their family members who will procure these medicines for them. There are others who don't have that privilege and they have no one outside to buy these medicines for them. And so when they get sick, they don't have assistance what to eat, because the food served in the prisons is not food that will assist you. It is food that is going to make you even suffer more.
Mr. Jah, that's the next question I was going to come to about the food condition in the prisons.
Mr. Jah, loolu sax laa la bëggoon a laaj mbiri lekka gi ni mel ci kaso bi foofu.
But just to go back a bit, you have just told this commission that mainly to have good medication, you have to get a prescription and your family members buy it and bring it in for you. Is that correct?
Waaye ñu dellu gannaaw tuuti rek wax nga ne pour nga am garab bu baax boo xam ne di nga ko mën a fajoo foog ñu bindal la ko nga yónnee ko sa mbokk yi ñu indil la ko foofu nga soog koo mën a fajoo noonu la.
Wow.
Yes.
Thank you. So if we may now move on to the food condition, can you tell us about the food in the prisons?
Léegi ñu ñëw nag ci mbiri lekka bi di ñu mën a wax lekka bi moom naka la mel ci kaso bi.
Lekka bi moom dafa bonoon jamono boobu lekka bi dafa bon torop.
At that time, the food was bad.
Because
even the rice, if you receive it and you want to keep it for the evening time, if you leave it up to the evening time and you open the bowl, you get a very bad odor.
Mr. Jah, can you tell us, from the time that you were convicted or that you were even in remand, because in your situation, when you were in remand, you were in the security wing. So you had to eat the prison food and not food from home. So from the time that you have actually entered into the prisons up to 2017 January, what was the condition of the food in the prisons?
Léegi jamono ji nga xamee ne ñu ngi la téye foofu noonu doo daan am lekka boo xam ne daf daan bàyyeekoo ci biti mu ngi mel ni lekka yi nga xam ne moo nekk ci kaso bi yooyu nga daan lekka diggante boobu nag ba atum 2017 naka la lekka yi meloon foofu.
Lekka yi baaxut.
The food is not good.
Lekka yi baaxut. Lu lee tane mooy nga jël dry comme ngoon.
What used to be better is for you to take dry.
So jëlee dry bi danga ko lee raxas.
When you take the dry, you rinse it.
So amee meew nga def ko si nga chop.
And when you have milk, you add it there and eat it.
So amul meew nga def si sukur kese nga lekka.
If you don't have milk, you put sugar and consume it. That is what is better.
Mr. Jah, we'll get to that in a minute. Okay? I want you to tell your story. So let's just take it step by step, yeah? You've told us something about dry. What do you mean by dry?
Am na loo fi wax nga ne dry maanaam lu wow loolu boo ko waxee lan la tekki.
It's the couscous that is served without the stew.
So if you can tell us, to have a better understanding, we have days of the week. So what was your food like? Let's say, what did you have on Mondays, on Tuesdays, Wednesdays? Can we go through that?
Léegi ñu ñëw nag ci bés yi nekk ci biir bés bu ay bi yëpp su fekkee ne yaa ngi mun a wax bés bu nekk lan ngeen dee lekka maanaam lundi li ngeen a lekka talaata lii àllarba lii alxamis waxal ñu ko ni mu teglantee noonu.
Altine dañ dee am ndéwo bi daf lee nekk pap time boobu.
In those days, on Mondays, we have pap as breakfast.
Añ bi mu nekk cuduutir bu jën.
In the afternoon, the lunch is palm oil stew with fish.
Reer bi mu nekk cere bu baase.
And the dinner is couscous with peanut butter.
Talaata.
On Tuesday,
plazas.
we have plazas.
Reer bi pap.
And the dinner is pap.
Mr. Jah, does the plazas have meat or fish?
Mr. Jah, plazas boobu daf daan am jën wala yàppa?
Jën la lee am xawma kobol xawma jën bi duy bari xob yi ñoo fa lee bari rek.
Is the fish that we used to have. I'm not sure if it's bongo or whatnot.
Continue. So on Wednesdays you have domoda?
We have benachin.
We have benachin.
Is it with meat or fish?
Benachin bi jën la wala yàppa àllarba?
Jën. Jën fry jën la lañ fa lay def. Dañ fa lay def fry jën bu wow.
Fried fish, dried one.
And then on Thursdays?
Alhamis nag?
ñu am domoda.
We have groundnut soup.
Maafe. Maafe bu yàppa.
Groundnut soup and served with meat.
And on Friday?
Ajuma?
Friday ñu am domoda bu sicca bi bu lay am kobo bi.
Groundnut soup with fish.
So from your evidence, you're actually telling this commission that you do have a variety of food that is given to you on a weekly basis.
Bon dafa melni ci biir bés bu ay bi daal da ngeen dee am ay façon lekka yoo xam ne moom lañ leen dee jox.
Waaw mooy lekka yi ma la wax nii la.
These are the foods I have named here.
So can you now tell us the condition of the food itself?
Léegi nag wax ñu
of the food.
Wax ñu lekka boobu nga xam ne moom lañ leen dee jox naka la mel.
Comme ci duutir bi time boobu.
At that time, the palm oil stew,
soo ko lay lekka nii sax danga dee gis ndox si biir maalo bi.
if you are eating it, you see water inside the rice.
Boobu noonu daf lay cause biri biri.
That used to cause beriberi.
Pura gerte bu gaay lay tooga samedi.
The
bu ñu lay jox ndew
porridge they used to cook on Saturdays.
Bu ndéki suba.
For the morning of the following day,
gaay dañ ko lay tooga ajuma si ngoon.
they will cook it on Friday evening.
ñu bàyyi ko si waañ bi mu fanaan fa.
They will leave it and it will spend the night in the kitchen.
Su gaay ñëwee suba.
When they come in the morning,
dafa fekk mu ngi wow si sigeer bi.
at that time it would have been all dried up.
gaay dañ dee jël ndox ñu sooti ko fa.
They will add water in.
gaay yëngal ko mu yolom.
And then they will stir it to lighten it, and then they supply it.
loolu moo lay cause biri biri.
And that is what usually causes the beriberi.
Pap bi tam the same thing.
The pap too, the same thing.
Mr. Jah, when they serve you the stews that you talked about, like the domoda and chew, do you actually see the context of either the meat or the fish that is in it?
Léegi buñ leen joxe lekka yooyu maanaam domoda bi wala cubeek yooyu ndax lim dee àndal moom di ngeen ko dee gis maanaam bu dee yàpp la war a nekk di ngeen ciy gis yàpp wala bu dee jën la war a nekk di ngeen ciy gis jën yi.
si lay yàpp la dañ da comme ñun high sentence yi moo lay tane sax.
Well, when it is meat, for those of us who are serving high sentences, it is usually better with us.
Play better because dina am ñaari morso ndawal.
Because at least you have 2 pieces of the meat.
waaye ñeneen ñi nga xam ne saafuñ comme life dead nii.
Those who are not serving life sentences or who are not on death row, their bowls are not normally filled, and the stew too is small. And 1 piece is what they used to put for them.
High sentence.
Our bowls, for those of us who are serving high sentence, it can have 2 pieces. The bowl is a little bit full, and the sauce is a little bit better. In the evening, especially on Sundays, the couscous used to come with the meat. But at our dinners, they never put the meat there. They put the belly of... It's the belly that they roast, and then they cut it into pieces. That's what they put on the couscous. Or they fry it until it is dry completely. That is what they used to give us. When I newly came to the prison, the bread they supplied us, if at all it was bread that was supplied, the tapalapa, they used to cut it in the middle. Each gets half of it. If you take breakfast from that, it's just the same as if you've not taken anything.
So, Mr. Jah, can you tell this commission whether prisoners or inmates are actually able to eat this food that you have mentioned that are prepared?
Legi Mr. Jah, lekka yi nga xamne mom nga fi wax ni ndax buñ ko joxe ñiñ fa tej ñonu dinañ ko dé mëna lekka?
Those that do not have assistance, they are unable to get anything else. They used to eat it to the extent that they will go around looking for remnants, and also from those that did not consume theirs. There are some prisoners who have the wherewithal to make things happen for themselves. And they look for bread. Some people are there who exchange their loaves. You can look for 3 or 4 loaves of bread. If you are able to, you can also use other mechanisms because there's corruption at the kitchen end. But that also would mean that you would have something with you.
So it's like you all play a barter system to be able to get food.
Yes.
Apart from that, is there any other ways that food is brought to you in the prisons?
Maybe the big men, those that probably had worked in government, they used to maneuver over the system and use the back way for things to be brought in for them.
Mr. Jah, do you get provisions brought into the prison for you?
Mr. Jah, ndax dang daan am ay lekk yu sew yi nga xam ne moom lañ la daan indil foofu ci kaso bi?
Waaw man dama lu ma lee mun a dugalante mooy ma lijjante mburu comme su ma amee cigarette nii.
What I used to be able to walk around is, example, if I have cigarettes,
I change it for bread.
I exchange it for bread.
Currently, do you suffer any medical conditions?
Jamono ji nga tollu ni ndax am ngay ben jafe-jafe sa wàllu wérgu yaram?
Waaw.
Yes.
Si kaso bi la amee ñu ne gastric la ulcer.
I got ulcer problems in prison.
Dafa am jamono suma biir bi dafa ma dee métti su ma toogee nii di play draft sax.
There was a time
dafa métti ba fu mu jaar dama tëdda.
I used to have stomach ache, especially when I sit down to play drafts. It was so severe that I would usually have to lie down.
So affaire bi bu ma disturbé ma complain.
When it disturbed me and I complained,
gars yi buñ ma buggee ñu yóbbu ma hospital.
When they booked me, I was taken to the hospital.
laa dem Banjul MOPD.
I went to Banjul to the MOPD.
ma demee MOPD docteur gis ma mu laaj ma wax ko yëpp.
I met the doctor and he asked me and I told him everything.
mu refer ma scanning.
And he referred me to be scanned.
ma demee scan gars yi ñu ne suma right kidney bi moo am stone xawma.
And after the scan, I was told that my right kidney had a stone, I think.
After guy dañ ma lay jox medicine every month dama loon dem hospital.
They used to give me medicine and every month I went to the hospital.
So because of that, you're on a special diet?
ngir loolu nag dafa tax ba dafa am façon ngi lekka yoo xam ne moom nga mun a lekka.
Yes.
And further, as you have stated in your statement, because of that, you get prescriptions written and special food is brought in for you. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Can you tell this commission what type of food is brought in for you?
Yes.
Recommendation like my job, Quaker oats.
They gave me a recommendation for Quaker oats, cornflakes, milk, corned beef, sardines, noodles, juice, biscuits, snaps,
extra, you say
and others.
So that is a privilege that prisoners do get.
Ndax lolu mbir la bo xamne ñi ci kasso bi dañ ko dé faral di am.
Daf lay nekk comme docteur su la ko recommendé from Banjul.
It is usually the case when such is recommended by a doctor from Banjul.
Thank you. So now let's move on to the illnesses. You talked about beriberi in the prisons. Can you tell us more about it?
Léegi ñu wax nak ci mbir feebar yi am ci kasso bi fofu. Wax nga fi lu ñoo wax beriberi. Di ñu mëna wax lolu naka la?
Waaw.
Yes.
Biri ñum lay gëna jappa moy comme ñoo xamné ni duñ lay am dimbal dal.
The people that suffer most from beriberi are those that don't have assistance.
Because
the food, if you consume a lot of it, causes beriberi in most cases.
In your time in the prison, can you give us a number of how many prisoners you know have died from this particular disease?
Jamono ji nga nekk ci kasso bi fofu ndax di ñu mëna wax ñaata nit nga xamne dé nañ fa te fekk feebar bi moko waral.
Waaw duma mëna xam ñepp seen tour yi waye gis na ñu bari ñoo xamne ni.
I cannot know all of their names, but I have seen many who
ñoo xamne biri mo leen ray
died as a result of beriberi.
Because
when I pinch their skins, I see how it reacts. When you punch on their skin, there is usually a dent. And the dent fills up slowly. It takes time before it returns back to its normal place.
So, in your description, it means that this is a disease that is visible by anybody's eye. If you see someone suffering from it, you can tell visibly.
Legi yow ni ma gisee sa wax mooy feebar boobu ku ko am daal su ko nit xoolee rek dina xam ne feebar bii la amee. Dina gis mandarga yooyu.
Waaw.
Yes.
Daf lay gaaw a soona soo ko amee nii soo dox bu bari nii sa dang dee soona.
The person tires quickly. If you are with him and you walk for a while, they tire quickly. And also, their legs are swollen. And it swells and creeps up gradually. If it gets up to this level, that is death.
Are prisoners given treatment for this said disease?
Feebar beriberi bi nga wax ni ndax prisoner yi dinañ leen ci dé faj.
There are some that escape it. I see that some are given tablets called fusamine. There is an injection, there are tablets as well. When they give you this tablet and you drink it, you keep urinating. And the more you urinate, the more it subsides. But that is in the case where it was detected early.
Thank you. So apart from this particular disease of the beriberi, are there any other diseases that is rampant that causes death in the prisons?
Gannaaw feebar bi ñoo wax beriberi ndax am na beneen façon feebar boo xam ne nag bari woon na fa ba nga xam ne dina daan tax prisoner yi di dee.
Beriberi bi daal laa gis moo lay gën a rey prisoner yi daal.
No, it's the beriberi which I noticed was killing prisoners more.
And as the inmates, you all believe that this beriberi is caused because of the poor quality of food that is served.
Te yéen ña fa nekkoon nag li ngeen gëmoon daal mooy ne beriberi bii li ko daan waral mooy lekk bu bon biñ leen daan jox.
Waaw mooy dëgg.
That's the truth.
That it is due to the fact that the food lacks nutrition.
mooy ne lekka wi daal amul jumtuwaay yu baax yoo xam ne baax na pour nit ki di ko lekka.
amul benn lu baax lu fa lay nekka su comme benn cin bi dañ koy tooga maalo bi diw bi du bari.
There is nothing good in the food.
lañ la fa defal du am légume du am beneen item foofu.
The benachin, when it is cooked, the oil is not enough. There is no legume. There is nothing that is there.
Thank you very much. We'll move on to the next issue now, Mr. Jah. During your stay at Mile 2 prison, you've had some encounters with some officers. Is that correct?
Léegi ñu jàll ci beneen fànn jamono ji nga nekk foofu Mile 2 amoon na ay jànkuwante yoo xam ne am nga ko fa ak liggéeykat yi foofu.
Waaw.
Yes.
Can you tell this commission the first encounter you had?
Dinga ko mën a wax commission bi jotee bu njëkk bi nga ama ñoom.
Waaw. Jotee bu njëkk bi ma ama ñoom.
The first incident with them was.
Time boobu dama dellu confinement. No, dama am problem si yaat bi at suma benn xarit Sehu Minte.
That time I had a problem with one of my friends in the yard, Sehu Minte.
Gaa yóbbu ma confinement buñ amee problème dañ daf ma saaga so bu ma saagee mu attaque ma si biir man ma mbéj ko.
He insulted me, then assaulted me, and so I slapped him.
Gaa yi ñu ne waruma koo mbéj.
And they said I shouldn't have slapped him.
Gaa yi paak ma.
So they packed me.
Yóbbu ma confinement.
They took me to confinement.
Was anything else done to you?
Am na leneen luñ la fa def.
After lolu I some 1 month some de yaagut dara mu am benn boy Makodu Jahate.
After that, not long after, maybe a month or so, there was another boy, Makodu Jahate.
Gaa yi dañ téye cannabis si moom.
He was caught in possession of cannabis.
Buñ ko téye cannabis bi gaa yi yóbbu ko.
And he was taken.
Mu ne leen man maa ko ko jox.
And he told them that I gave it to him.
Gaa yi jël si ma.
They collected me.
Buñ ma yóbboo ñu àndamaan moom.
They took me alongside him.
Beneen boy Pa Lamin Silla.
And one other boy, Lamin Silla.
Gaa yi yóbbu ñu dem ESO office.
They took us to the ESO's office.
Suma kanam gaa yi laaj ko mu ne man maa ko ko jox.
And in my presence, they asked him, and he said, I gave it to him.
Sorry, Mr. Jah, 1 minute. You said they took you to the ESO's office. Can you explain where that is found?
Nga ne dañ lay yóbbu ci office ESO bi. Loolu ban boor la nekkee ci kaso bi?
Mu ngi Mile 2 soo duggee si main bunta bi la first office bi foofu.
It's in Mile 2. As you get into the door, the first office.
On your right side.
On your right side.
You may continue.
Egalil.
Foofu la ñu yóbbu bu ñu fa yóbboo kuñ dee wax Chief Kaliru.
And when they took us there, the one they called Chief Kaliru.
Ak Sergeant Corps.
And Sergeant Corps.
Ak yeneen private officers.
And other private officers.
Boy bi ñu laaj ko suma kanam.
They asked the boy in my presence.
Mu ne man maa ko ko jox.
And he said, I gave it to him.
Ma ne ko man joxuma la ko.
I told him, I have not given it to you.
Gaa yi léegi ñu ne dañoo dem headquarter.
And now they said that we are going to the headquarters.
Lañ àndaa ñun.
So they went with us.
Ñu ubbi main bunta bi ñu dox usuñ moto sax dañ dox.
They did not use a vehicle. They opened the main door and we walked.
They escorted us.
They escorted us.
Buñ àggee ba headquarter.
When we got to the headquarters,
Gaa yi ne man ma toog si ron mango garab bi foofu.
they told me to sit under the tree.
Mr. Jah, sorry, explain where the headquarters that you're referring to is.
Mr. Jah, wax ñu li nga wax noonu ne headquarter bi ban boor la nekkee?
Headquarter bi office David Colley opposite Mile 2 Central Prison.
The headquarters is David Colley's office, which is opposite Mile 2 Central Prisons.
Bu ñu yóbboo foofu.
When they took us there,
gaa yi ñu ne man ma toog.
they asked me to sit down.
Ma toog si garab bi ron garab bi foofu.
I sat under the tree there.
Gaa yi dugal Makodu.
They took Makodu inside.
Buñ dugalee Makodu.
When they took him in,
yaagut la ma dégg yuuxoo mi ñu ngi ko dóor.
not long after, I heard his screams. He was being beaten.
Du yaaga tuuti Sergeant Corps.
Not long after, Sergeant Corps
mu ñëw ne ma Lamin Jah ma ne ko waaw mu ne ma kaay.
came to me and called me Lamin Jah, and I said yes, and he told me, come.
Si la kof suma loxo bi.
So he handcuffed me.
Handcuff suma loxo bi.
He handcuffed me.
Bu ma handcuffee.
After he handcuffed me, he removed one piece of cloth, put it over my head, and tied it. He held my hand and pulled me. I followed him. They opened the door and they put me inside. I took a step in, took a turn. As I took a bend, they carried me. When they carried me up, they placed me on a table. They beat me up for a long time.
Mr. Jah,
they brought me down.
When you say they were beating you, what were they using to beat you?
Blackjack.
They were using a blackjack. When I took that turn and they carried me up in the air, placed me on the table, beat me up and brought me down, they removed the cloth over my head. That was when I saw Ibrahim Jame. He was having a blackjack. The one they call Pio Jabang. He was having a blackjack. Pio Fadera. He was having a blackjack. And they asked me, who gave this man the cannabis? And I told them I did not give it to him.
Sefla, deputy director.
The Sefla, the deputy director, he told them in Mandinka, put him up again. And they put me up again. At that time, they had removed the piece of cloth over my head. And they started, when one raises up his black jar, it will be the other one who will be hitting. And they'll be doing like that.
Mr. Jah, who is, you said Jame. What is the full name?
Ibrahim
Jame. Was he known by any other name?
Chief Torturer.
Chief Torturer.
Thank you. You may continue.
Because
when they beat me and they brought me down, I was not myself. I suddenly found myself inside a hole, and they poured water over me.
Can you, sorry, Mr. Jah, can you describe the hole, and where was it?
You know,
they placed a table on which they carried out their beatings. The deputy director was seated at a corner and leaning on a chair.
So the
recruits were the ones holding me because at that time they were on training. The hole was dug right in front of them. A big hole.
Can you give us an estimate of how big the hole was?
The length is almost that of this table.
The same
as this table.
You may continue.
I just saw myself inside a hole, and my whole body was soaked with water. They said to me, if you do not tell us who brought this cannabis, and sorry, I missed that.
He said, if you don't tell us who gave you this cannabis, we
and
will
where
kill you
it came
and
from,
bury you.
We'll kill you and bury you here. Thank you. There also, I denied it. I told them, this guy, I have not given him any cannabis, and I was placed on the table again. When they put me up there, they beat me, the same thing. And they threw me inside the hole again. Then I was tired and I admitted that I gave it to him.
Can you tell us what happened after that, after you admitted?
Gannaaw boo nangoo nag ne yaa ko jox lana xew.
léegi mu ne ma wax ko fan kan moo ma ko jox.
Then he said to me, I should tell him who gave it to me.
ma wax ko bu ma ko waxee ma ne ko benn soldat la Bojang laa ko xamee but I don't know the name.
I told him that it was one soldier whose surname was Bojang, but whose name I did not know.
So, Mr. Jah, you're telling this commission that the military used to bring cannabis into the prisons and actually supply inmates?
Bon da nga bëgg a wax ne soldat yi dañ daan indi taay ci biir kaso bi di ko jox ñañ fa tëdda.
Waaw.
Yes.
Okay, so if you may continue with your beating.
Léegi eggalil dóor yi la doon dóor.
mu continuer bu ma ko waxee loolu sax taxul mu bàyyi gars yi dañ ma eggalaat dóoraat ma ñaari yoon war.
It continued. Despite my admission, that did not make them stop. They put me up twice and beat me up.
Dóor after fekka pa Lamin si la dafa wax foofu turi Ramses.
They beat me up. At that time, Parliament had called the name of Ramses.
Can you clear for this commission who is Ramses?
Dañ ñu mën a leeralal kan mooy Ramses.
Soriba Konde.
Soriba Konte.
That was this morning's witness.
Konde. Soriba Konde.
You may continue.
Soriba Konde after guy time bobu wacha dafa jot.
At that time, it was close to closing time.
So guys si non dañ ñibé.
And that was how they went home.
Ay delloo ma.
They returned me
yóbbu si empty cell.
and returned me to an empty cell.
With handcuff.
In handcuff.
You seal ma foofu noonu.
And they sealed me there.
So you're telling us that they took you to a different cell from the cell you're normally kept in?
Yes.
Dañ ñu bëgg a dañ la yóbbu ci beneen cell bu utee fa nga xam ne fa lañ la dencoon.
Waaw.
Yes.
And then you were once again sealed?
Waaw.
Yes.
Can you tell us how long you were sealed for?
Dañ ñu mën a wax ban àpp lañ la fa teyoon foofu.
Seal bi yàgg na seal nañ ma boobu war naa am ay 7 months de.
The seal was long. I was sealed for, it should be up to 7 months.
After the beating, before they took you back to the cell, did you receive any painkillers?
Gannaaw dóor yi ñu la dóor noonu yépp balaañ laa delloo ci cell bi ndax am na yenn garab yooyu naan pour wàññi metit bi.
Naanuma woon benn garab.
I did not drink any tablet.
Did you receive any medical attention?
Am na benn faj boo xam ne faj nañ la ko.
Time boobu noonu exactly munuñ ma gars yi nanguwuñ ma yóbbu in family ooyaluñ ma medic.
At that time, they did not agree to take me to the infirmary or even to call a medic for me.
So you were taken directly from the torture scene to a cell by yourself and you were sealed.
Bon dafa mel ni fa nga xam ne fa lañ la doon dóoree dañ la fa jëlee rek yóbbu la ci cell boo xam ne yow kenn naa fa nekkoon.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Can you explain to the commission the type of injuries that you actually suffered?
Nga mën a wax commission bi yan façon yi gaañu nga moo la fa daloon.
Suma gannaaw bi am na yu xar yu bari.
My back, I suffered lacerations.
Suma gannaaw bi dafa xar ba duma lee mun a toog suma toogee dafa metti sumay tëdda fu mu jaar ma dëpp.
My back was lacerated. I'm not able to lie down, and when I'm lying down, I have to be flat on my belly.
Apart from the slap that you received, did they hit you anywhere around your face?
Waaw gars yi dañ ma doon
mbéj yooyu ndax am na yeneen yoo xam ne laal na la sa kanam bi.
dañ ma la non pipe bi laalut woon suma kanam bi waaye suma tànk yi suma loxo yi daf ko doon laal.
No, the pipe did not touch my face, but my feet and my hands were touched.
So it would be correct to say that you had injuries that were not visible.
Bon ne mun a wax ne amoon nga ay gaañu ay mitit yoo xam ne kenn mënu koo gis a but.
Suma yaram bi because am na benn prisoner bu fa nekkoon kuñ le mu ngi fa ba léegi sax Bakary Sano la tudda.
Yes, because in fact there is a prisoner called Bakary Sano.
Officer dañ ko lee mun a indi ñu ubbi ko ñu ubbi ma suma sel mu dugga mu dampel ma suma lii bi ndox bu tàng la lay use at karité.
Sometimes the officers will open my cell and will bring him in, and he will use a cloth and try to massage my body.
Moom moo doon dampe suma gannaaw bi.
He was the one massaging my back
si la res.
until the thing subsided. But after that, they took me again alongside Ramses. They took us. They took Ramses inside. They beat him up.
Mr. Jah, can you give us a time period when they came back for you?
I
think door bobu dafa tombe Thursday, I don't know, si Monday bi ñu jël si Sogna Ramses. Amna weekend la tombe, something like that after.
I think that beating coincided on a Thursday, and the following Monday they collected Ramses.
So it means that at that time, government didn't work on Fridays.
No, time bobu ajuma duñ dé liggéey. From Monday to Thursday la suma faté wut kay.
During that time,
they took a break for the Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and collected you back on the Monday. Tell us what happened.
Wax ñu lu xew.
Dañ ñu yobbu door Ramses ñu ne Ramses tam daf lay jaay tay.
They took us and they beat up Ramses, and they said that he is one of the people who used to sell cannabis.
That information loolu la gaay amon ci mom.
That was the information they heard about him.
Buñ ko door ko be after fofu nonu affaire mobile feñ fa waxi mobile.
After beating him up for some time, an issue on a mobile phone arose from there.
Tell the commission about the mobile phone.
Waxal commission bi mbiri mobile phone bobu.
Waaw digal la mobile bi, it was my mobile.
Truly, the mobile phone was mine.
Mr. Jah, can you tell this commission how you obtained a mobile phone whilst incarceration?
Mr. Jah, di ñu mëna wax commission bi naka nga mëna amé téléphone mobile te fekk ñu la tëj?
Waaw.
Yes.
Mobile bi gaay yi nekkon fofu Venezuela drogue ñooñu jaame amona tëjoon leen fofu te leen jàppoon na drogue yi.
The mobile, the Venezuelans who were caught with drugs were the ones that owned it. They left it there, and not only one, there were many.
So when they were leaving, they gave you one?
Number 4.
Where they kept it is where I got it from, number 4.
So continue to tell us when the issue of the mobile phone happened.
Legal na egalil wax ñu mbiri mobile phone bi bim xewé la na xew.
Mobile bi dafa am ben day.
One day,
so yi ñoo dugga ci kaso bi.
The SOs came into the cell.
Bu ñëwé confinement.
And when they came to confinement,
mobile bi man ko jox ben boy buñ lew Omar Diallo.
At that time, I had given the mobile phone to one boy called Omar Diallo.
Omar Diallo bu mu gisee SO yi dugga ci.
When Omar Diallo saw the SOs coming,
mu sani mobile bi ci parenthèse bi.
He threw it
cross nañ na le.
Over the window.
Mu ko sané ci parenthèse bi kuñ lew Pio Anabi Jame.
When he threw it over the window, the one called Pio Anabi Jame,
mo nekkon officer in charge bi that day.
He was the officer in charge on that day.
Confinement.
Inside confinement. He picked it up. When he picked it,
after boy the
boy that I had given it to told me that he threw it away, but that the PO had picked it up. When he told me that the PO had picked it up, I went out myself to meet the PO.
I talked to him.
I talked to him. After talking to him, he said to me, well, now, he will not make it a case, he will not show it, he will take it. When he took it, that talk was finished. So now when they beat up Ramses, that was when he revealed that to them there. When he said that to them, they forgot about the issue of the cannabis. Now they brought in cannabis. They took me and brought us.
They
Asked me for the mobile, and I told them I don't have a mobile phone. I never had one. They beat me up again. Beat me up. At that time, my body was numb. When you hit me, I don't feel pain. I denied. The reason why I denied, PO, I don't want to put him into trouble. Because what he did like that, he has done nothing which will warrant me to go there and expose him. That was why I denied, because I did not want to make him lose his job. But even in that situation, he was detained also.
9 months.
For 9 months. David detained him there. We sat down, and one day, they took the case and took us to the NIA. When they took us to the NIA, myself and Anabi, Ramses,
Stanley,
and Stanley, a Nigerian who was caught with 2 mobile phones. Now, when they took us to the NIA, there was one NIA officer called Sekabai. He was in prison with us. When he saw us, he came and asked us. When he saw our condition, he knew that we were beaten seriously. That was when he got into their office. He was there, and after speaking with him, and then he came out and he said, Ibrahim Jame, return back the inmates, because we cannot touch these people. And that was how we were returned. We continued
Mr.
the seal.
1 minute. You're telling this commission that when you went to NIA, they refused to touch you or even detain you and returned you back to Mile 2.
Yes.
Wow. Yes.
And one of the main reasons was because they saw the condition that you were in and they were scared.
Wow. Yes.
And also, just to take you back a bit, you said the PO was detained at some point.
Yes, he was detained at the confinement.
You've answered my question. I was going to ask, where was he detained in the prisons? And you've clarified that he was in the confinement, which is the security wing. Thank you. You may continue when you got back to the prisons. What happened?
When we returned, they continued to seal us. The seal dragged for a long time. And then they gave me a rest. When they gave me the rest, it's a long time. They left Anabi at confinement, and I was returned back to the yard. While I was in the yard, I returned back to cell number 2. Operation E Jame had gone on tour.
Medic officer
When he went on tour, a medic officer whose name is Waf, I don't know his surname,
in operation office.
He was the one standing in for him at the operations office. So one day, I was somebody was sent to call me. When I was called, I was taken to the SO's office. And then they told me to write a statement in regards to the mobile phone, and that I should say that Anambi was the one who took the mobile. He was the one in possession of it. If I did that, I will have my freedom inside the prison. I said to them, I never had a mobile phone.
After guy ñu ne ma waa okay léegi dañ dem nga uyu waaf office am.
Then they said to me, okay, now let's go so that you can answer to WAF inside his office.
Guy buñ ma yóbboo si waaf.
When they took me to WAF,
Waaf mu ne ma.
WAF said to me,
lii doo si am benn problème man naa la garantie.
in this issue, you will have no problem. I will guarantee you.
Puy mu mun a am problème.
Sorry, what, Lulu?
Mu ne ma anam bi lañ bugga puy moom mu mun a am problème.
He said to me, it is Anambi whom you want to get have a problem.
Not you.
Not you.
Ma ne ko waaw man musuma am mobile loolu wax la la.
I said to him, well, I never had a mobile phone. That is just talk.
After mun naa ma ba soona ma bañ.
He tried to cajole me for a time, but I refused.
I returned ma si yaat bi.
And they returned me to the yard.
Ba benn day.
Until one day,
Si guddi.
in the night,
Number 1 cell.
in number 1 cell,
Mu am ku fa feebar.
there was someone that got sick.
Donc gars yi docteur bi ñëw caabi cell bi dem na.
The doctor was not there. The keys to the cell too was gone.
Ba boy boobu dafa mujjee dee si cell bi.
Until that boy ended up dying inside the cell.
Gars yi si cell bi dóor bunta bi.
The people in the cell were banging their
Tam
doors.
suñu cell ñëpp di dóor bunta yi cell yi yëpp di dóor bunta
The
bi.
rest of us too started banging the doors to our cells.
Gars yi léegi si suba si nanguwuñu a ubbi nit ñi.
So in the morning, they refused to open us up.
Benn cook génn.
Sorry, Mr. Jah, what time did the inmate die in the cell?
Ban waxtu la kooku dee ci biir cell bi?
Guddi la nag waaye xaw ma exactly time bi because I'm not in them nekkuma ñoom the same cell.
It was in the night, and I don't know the exact time because I'm not in the same cell with them.
Number 1 la loolu happen.
Why?
It
Sorry.
happened in number 1.
Could we say it was after Maghrib, before Isha, or after Isha?
Mun nañoo wax ne gannaaw timis la woon balaa gee wala gannaaw gee la woon?
Mun naa nekk diggante timis ak gee.
It could be in between,
Exactly, but I don't know exactly the time.
but I don't know exactly the time.
That's fine. You can continue.
Léegi si suba si.
Now, in the morning,
Officer yi senior man yi yëpp dugga si kaso bi.
the senior officers, all of them came inside.
Ijaame ñëwoon na.
Ijame came.
Ijaame ñëwee after gars yi léegi ñu ne.
When Ijame came, Jame came, they said
naxante prisoner yi ba gars yi ubbi cell bi génnee.
they tried to negotiate with the prisoners until they opened the cell,
Gars yi génnee niw bi.
and they removed the cups.
Léegi si lañ yóbbu niw bi.
That was when they took the cups away.
Léegi ñu ne cell bu nekk.
Now they said each cell
dañ tànn ñaari mag si cell bi.
should nominate 2 elders.
What time did they pull out the dead body from the cell?
Ban waxtu lañ génnee niw bi ci cell bi?
Si suba si la nag de waaye kacoo bu ma time bi de.
It was in the morning, but I did not catch up the time.
What time do they open the cells in the morning?
Ban waxtu lañ dee faral di ubbi cell yi suba?
After change is 8 o'clock.
After the change of guard at 8 o'clock.
8 lañ dee ubbi cell yi pour rest.
8 is when they will open the cells for rest.
waaye high sentence yi dañ dee mun a génn before 8. before change is di ñëw.
But the high sentence inmates are usually able to go out before the change of guard takes effect.
At cook yi.
And the cooks,
ñu nekk outside party yëpp dañ dee génn before change is.
and those at the outside parts used to go out before the change.
waaye bés boobu kenn génnul.
But on that day, no one went out.
What was the reason why the inmates decided to stay in the cells?
Lan moo taxoon ba ñooñu ne ñoom dañoo des ci biir cell bi ñu tëjoon ci kaso bi foofu ne dañ faa des.
ñoom ñoo pare wut pour ubbi bunta yi.
They were the ones who were not prepared to open the doors.
ba gars yi buñ ko négocier.
Until they negotiated.
léegi man.
Now, me,
bu gars yi ñëwee ñu request cell bu nekk ñaari nit.
when they came and requested 2 individuals from each of the cells,
on suma cell they pick me.
in my cell, they picked me.
ñu dem fekk Ijaame return na from the tour.
We went. At that time, Ijame had already returned from his tour.
gars yi bu ñu demee ñu dem léegi Gate Lodge.
When we went to Gate Lodge.
ñoom Sefla ñoom Ijaame ñëpp a ngi fa.
Sefla, Ijame, and others, all were there.
so gars yi oo ñu laajte ñu lan mooy problème bi.
They called us and they asked us what the problem was, and we told them.
man li ma wax mooy we don't need even David Colley.
What I said to them was that we don't even need David Colley.
ndeke wax bu ma wax noonu daf si mer.
Behold, that statement I made angered him.
loolu dafa tax ñu returnaat ma confinement.
That was a reason for me being taken back to the confinement.
Were you beaten before taken back to confinement?
Confinement.
They did not beat me.
And how long were you kept in confinement?
Ñaata waxtu lañ la téye foofu ci confinement bi?
Buma delloo foofu génnaatuma fa dema génnaatu fa ba buñ ma transféré Joshua last living.
When I was there, I did not leave until I was transferred to Joshua.
Confinement.
Now that when I returned back to confinement,
guy they must seal for the new.
I was sealed for the new.
After Superintendent Kaliru Jame.
And after Superintendent Kalilu Jame,
in charge on confinement.
He was in charge of the confinement at the time. They gave me rest. And they did not even inform him. When the UDP militants newly came to the prison, he came on a tour and came to the confinement end. When he came around, he greeted me, greeted Ramses, greeted all the boys. Kalilu was behind him. Sax was also behind him. George Colley was behind him.
After man appeal Simon because that time mugi see suma visit.
But then I appealed to him. At that time, he had stopped my visits.
Suma property mungo stop.
He had also stopped my properties.
Sila appeal manako uncle.
That was when I appealed to him, and I said to him, Uncle, help me because my visits have been blocked up till now. And my properties are unable to come in. He said to me, in fact, who opened the door for you to come out? I said to him, it's the guys who allowed me to come and have a rest. He shouted and said that nobody should open for me. Let them open the cell and let me go inside. When he said that, I did not even stop there. I turned back and they followed me. They took me up and they locked me. After he locked me, Ramses followed him and told him that this guy, what he is doing is just to appeal to you. But Ramses ended up having a problem. And then he said, let Ramses himself get inside. In that instant, Ramses resisted. When he resisted and he forced Ramses up to the door of his cell, and when he got into Ramses' cell and found milk and sugar, he asked, why would prisoners have these supplies?
After Mugena,
and then he went out.
You see Ramses, man, after some minutes,
and not after
SO team
after some minutes, the SO team came.
They opened
the door to my cell. They handcuffed me. They took me away. He was a part of the team. When we came out up till the door to the confinement, where the soldiers used to sit. That was where he stood with me. And I said to him, Uncle, I haven't done anything to you. I was just pleading to you with regards to my visits. That was where he attacked me and slapped me. He slapped me severally. And that time I was handcuffed. When he slapped me, when he slapped until he was satisfied, he left me alone. And then he ordered them to take me to his office. When we got to his office, he opened the door to his office and told them to remove the seats to the sitting room. And he ordered them to hold me. He beat me up seriously. I was cuffed.
Empty cell number 5.
And then they took me to an empty cell, number 5, and put me inside. They took Ramses, took him away,
Do Ramses seriously.
Beat him up seriously.
Guy Indigo.
Brought him back.
Inde Sachs, SPO Sachs.
When he was brought back, SPO Sachs. He said to him, but you, this guy has not done anything to you. And then he shouted at that guy. And then he went out with him. He ordered that person for that guy will bring me back. When Sachs took me back to his office, he beat me up again. He brought Ramses again. Beat him up seriously.
It was on Thursday.
That was on a Thursday. After he did that, they gathered all the officers and they went around the prisons, to all the cells. Whatever material they find, they took away. Milk, sugar, soap, even your teacup, your T-shirts, your brush, all everything was taken away.
Mr. Jah, you're telling this commission that they stripped you of all the necessities that you had in your room.
Describable from infirmary.
Even those things that were prescribed by the doctor for us were taken.
Paper, it comes through the main gate.
There is a document which comes through the main gate. They book you at the main gate. They take it to the infirmary where it is booked. And they bring it to confinement and book it. Then they will call you and give you your possessions. All of them were taken away. He said the prisoners should not have those things.
You may continue.
After he did that,
the next day, on a Friday,
weekend that day, which was a weekend, he did not come.
Special team.
He made a call his people, and he sent in a special team. At that time, Malang Tamba was the acting chief. We sent Malang Tamba
at Jabi, P.O. Jabi,
and P.O. Jabi,
Alaji
Makalo, Sergeant Jao. When they came, they took Ramses first. The one they called Musaba. He came to my cell and said to me, they have taken Ramses and they are beating him up. I peeped through the window and I could hear Ramses screaming. That was just behind the confinement where they took us. So when they took Ram and Musa told me...
Mr. Jah, I would like you to go back a bit and explain better about, you said they took us behind the confinement. Can you explain that part properly, please, before the commission? When they came, they found P.O. Nyang.
In charge on confinement.
He was in charge of confinement. He was the one they spoke to. P.O. Nyang gave the order for them to open the doors for us. When they opened, they called Ramses. They took Ramses. The prisoner they called Musaba. He was the first one to come to my cell. He said to me, they have come, so and so and so. They came and they have taken away Ramses. When he told me they took away Ramses and they are beating him, he himself was crying. He himself, who told me that he was crying.
When they took away Ramses, and it was for a long time, shortly after a short while, they came back for him. They came and opened my cell. They called me to come. I came out. P.O. Jabi put a handcuff on my hands, and they pulled me, took me out. They took me away. When we left confinement and went by the back way,
confinement.
Just behind confinement, there's a bend.
Guys,
That's where they caught me. Jabi caught me. They pulled me down on the ground. Jabi told me, don't shout. If you shout here, I'll kill you. When he said that, I kept quiet and I lied down. Jao, he lied on top of me. And Jabi and others caught my legs. Malantamba was beating me. They went on beating me for a long time. And sometimes he has to take a rest from the beating. Jabi took the pipe and went on beating. Later on, 2 soldiers came and stood at the junction looking at us. That's the time when Malantamba stopped the beating. Then they returned me back. When we reached confinement,
everybody was standing.
Everybody was standing there. He told them this.
When it's necessary.
Whenever it's necessary.
We will take a life.
We will take a life.
But this government.
Nobody
will spoil it here.
Nobody will spoil this government here. After that, they returned me back to the cell. That's when the beating stopped.
That day,
that day, they didn't even ask us what we did.
Don't ask nothing.
They didn't ask anything.
Did you receive any medical attention after the beatings?
They didn't do anything for me. They didn't give me any medication. There was an officer called Modso. He used to help me with medication. There is one type called quick relief. Amoxicillin. And Caritel. At that time, there was no medicine, there was nothing in the prison. Because that officer, his mother and my mother are acquainted. He used to smuggle karate and the other types of medicine for me. And afterward, he used to massage me. He used to bring those medicines for me. Even if I go to ease myself in the chamber pot, I used to bring out blood. That's when the beating stopped. We were sealed. We were under that seal. During the Ramadan, we were still under the seal. The Korite also found us in the seal. Up to the Tobaski time. Till the elections.
We are on seal.
We were on seal. Until when Yaya Jammeh lost the elections. Myself plus the other soldiers who organized on the 30th attack. That the day Yaya Jammeh was defeated, we all were given a rest. When Yaya Jammeh said he is not going to step down, they came back and said it was an order, let's go back in. They took us back in. We were there like that until when Yaya Jammeh said he will relinquish power. That's the time when they were allowed to rest.
I was going to ask you who Oga is, but Mr. Interpreter has actually said the name for us.
That's a common name. They used to call him that name.
Can you tell us who you believe is Oga?
Yaya Jammeh, the president.
Yaya Jammeh, the former president.
Thank you. Mr. Jah, can you tell us, did you know about any other tortures or beatings that happened to other inmates?
Mititali ak dóor yi nga xam ne dal na ñeneen ñoo xam ne ñoom tam ñu ngi leen tëjaloon foofu ci kaso bi.
Yes.
Gis naa benn day confinement
I can remember one day at confinement, Ibrahim Diouf.
From the yard.
They beat him from the yard. He was handcuffed and brought to confinement.
I was standing.
I was standing there. He was standing at the table where the officers used to book people. The man called Chief Kaliru. He was the guy who jumped up and stamped him on his ribs. Then the man fell down. For him to get up was a problem. They had to lift him up and took him back to the cell and left him in the cell there and closed the door. Then from that moment he was crying in the cell. They refused to take him to the hospital. He was there until when he was tired. They took him out and carried him away.
Next 2 days, we have information.
After 2 days, we had the information that he has died.
Do you know where they carried him to?
Exactly how
I don't know exactly where, but they said they took him to the hospital. And when they were beating us also behind David's office, there was a prisoner called Musaba. He was also beaten. They beat him severely.
Right now
he's at Joswang. He himself is asking for him to be brought here to come and give his statement.
The Commission will look into that aspect. Thank you. Was Mr. David Colley aware of all these beatings and tortures that were happening at the prisons?
David Colley, yëgoon na dóor yi ak métital yi nga xam ne yëpp moo doon xew ci kaso bi.
Waaw, yëg na ko ndikte ñun bu ñoo dóor si gannaaw office am.
Yes, he was aware because when we were beating, it was just behind his. When they were beating us, it was just behind his office.
Because I remember benn day.
Because I can remember one day.
Ijame
took some papers from his office and came.
Come 2016 new page.
He said, like 2016 will be a new page.
He said, oh yeah, it's from the president's office.
He said, it's from the president's office. If you want, you can read it. If we torture anybody here until he dies, nothing will come out of it. But he didn't give that paper to anybody to read.
After that day, David.
After he took away the paper, that day, David just pushed his rideau, his curtains. He was standing and looking at us.
Before NIA.
And before they took us to the NIA, he came out and talked to us. He said, if we go to the NIA, it will be clear. Then Anabi also was supposed to go to the NIA. Then he was aware of what was going on.
Did Mr. David Colley make any efforts to actually stop this torturing and beating of inmates in the prisons?
David Colley moomu am na dara loo xam ne def na ko pour tere dóor yi ak métital yu métti yi nga xam ne mu ngi daan xew foofu.
He did nothing about it.
Because more
he did nothing about it because he was in agreement with Ijame.
You just did a sign and you said Nila. What does that mean, please? Can you explain?
It is the two of them who work together. David gives him orders and he will carry them out.
Thank you. Mr. Jah, do you know if there were any investigations on the death that occurred, which was of the Ibrahim Diouf?
Mr. Jah, ndax xam nga ndax dee Ibrahim Diouf am na benn gëstu boo xam ne def nañ ko ci pour xam li ko waral.
Officer yi ñoom duñ lee wax foofu dara de.
Well, there the officers don't say anything.
Waaye ñun prisoners yi xam nga ñun fekkee nañ ko.
But we the prisoners, we were there.
Ñun xam nañ lu xew.
We know what happened.
Moo tax ma wax ko.
That's why I stated it.
Li ma gis suma biir bot moom laa wax.
What I saw with my eyes, that's what I said.
Has anyone ever come round to tell you or say they were investigating the death, and what do you know about it, or any other death that has actually occurred in the prisons?
Ndax amna ken ku ñew ci yow pour laaj la ndax xam nga dara ci mbiri dee bobu wala yeneen dee yi nga xam ne sax mu ngi doon xew ci prison bi?
Man suma fatale ko de fogna seen programme TRRC the first time ñu ñew ci man.
If I can remember the TRRC, the first time they came to me, I can remember that was the time when I first mentioned it. If visitors come to the prison and you happen to say certain statements, when they leave, you find yourself in serious trouble.
Can you tell us what kind of visitors you're referring to?
Ding ñu mëna wax yan gan nga wax ni ne ñoo fa dé ñëw.
You lay ñëw round maybe nga ne ombudsman.
Just like the people who come round like the ombudsman.
Wala nga ne maybe interior.
Or interior, people from the interior.
Wala nga ne PSB.
Or the PS.
They come from outside. Légui do xam maybe ki ban poste la nekk.
Well, people mainly who come from outside. Sometimes you will not know the person what position he's holding. When those visitors come there, you have to be careful not to say things like that. The final one, why they brought me to Joshua, it was not a long time. Something happened in the prison. A prisoner, an inmate, had a problem with one officer. What, Lan? Something happened there, and the prisoner was wounded on his hand. And we all shouted in the prison to show that we have something that made us angry.
Mr. Jah, sorry, you know the Wolof language can be a bit different sometimes. When you said muganyu, what do you mean? Was it a death that occurred, or was it an injury that occurred?
Mr. Jah, xam nga laki Wolof bi so ne mu gañu. Gañu la wala dafa dé?
Injury la mean la.
It means that someone was injured. He was wounded on his hand.
So
we prisoners requested that we wanted to see the interior.
But interior ñëwut.
But the interior didn't come.
Landing Bojang moo fa ñëw.
Landing Bojang came there.
ñun dañ dajale éponge yu màgget yi yëpp.
By that time, we had gathered all the old mattresses. We took it out at the gate of the confinement, and we set fire to it. After setting fire to those old mattresses, we sat down there. Afterwards, Landing Bojang came. Enforcement. PIU, yes, with an enforcement. When they came, myself, personally, I shouted at Landing Bojang. That's the time when he came to us. He listened to us. We explained to him what happened. Then there were many officers standing there. After my explanation, I told him
about the pardon
about how pardon goes on in there. And the diet we used to receive in the prison there.
So,
after we did that, Landing talked to us.
Everybody cool.
Then everybody calmed down. We all went in. That was how things ended up. Because Landing promised us that he will take up our case. He will do something about it. When he said that, we all calmed down, we agreed, and we went back inside.
This is next day.
Till the next day.
On the 18th of April 2019.
It coincided with the day 18th of April 2019. Early in the morning, I was even praying the dawn prayers.
That guy asked.
They arrived. When they arrived, They opened my door. I was praying. The officer pulled me from my praying mat.
His name is Augustine.
His name is Augustine.
He's here, sir.
He's here among the people who escorted us. He pulled me from the praying mat. Then they put irons on my legs. And they cuffed my hands. And they did that to many of the inmates. They took us all outside. And me, they put me on board a pickup. What? A man called Samba Doroba. They also put him on board that pickup. And they took us direct to Joshua. This is how I was transferred to Joshua. We were there.
Less than 2 hours.
Less than 2 hours.
They brought
in another boy, Alpha Omar Ba or Alpha Omar Jallo. And he is the person who told them that the place they took us to, let them bring him also to that same place. Because he was also part of us. That's why they brought him there also. Yes, they took us to Joshua. When we arrived at Joshua, they took us to the new confinement which was built at Joshua. Even the cells were not ready at that time. There was no corrugated sheets. It was mere concrete. The sun used to shine on top of us. The sun comes, shines directly inside the cell.
Every day, there
was an old man who falls down every day when attacked by this high blood pressure. He falls down every day. Myself, I used to feel sick always because of the heat, and the ambulance used to come from mile 2. And when the sun cools down, that's the time when the heat, in fact, gets worse inside the cell. If you touch the wall, well, we were sealed. We were there. Where there was an officer called the Pure Soul.
In charge riot squad is in office.
He was Momo in charge?
Riot squad.
The riot squad there.
Because they knew riot squad.
Because we were entrusted to the riot squad. When Saul himself comes to us and he talks to us, talking to us to calm down, so that they can give us a rest. When we are given rest up to 4, before 4 sometimes we go in. Until the next morning. That's where we were until one day they took Alpha, returned him. I was there with the old man. For a short time, they brought Musaba again. We were there. One day, we used to complain about the heat inside the cells. They didn't want to take us back. And they said they were going to make that place. They took us to the bigger cells where the convicts were. When they took us to the bigger cells and they made that other place where we were formerly, the place was not ready. When we were coming there, they had small windows like the police station windows. Then they removed those small windows and made it bigger windows. After all that, they put corrugated sheets on top. But it was just halfway. So that they'll have a place for us where we are going to be. They didn't make it. Up to now, it is. The place is full of cement dust. Even if you want to fan mosquitoes away, the cement will be mixed up in the air. This is how we were there up to now. The old man has been returned, but I'm still there.
Thank you very much, Mr. Jah. Thank you for testifying before this commission today, and that is all I have for you today. Mr. Chair, if I may just point out, the last part that he's mentioned in the 2019 is somewhat out of our jurisdiction, but it was interesting to hear what he was saying. That's why I allowed him to continue. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councillor. And thank you, Mr. Jah. Thank you for coming to testify before the Commission. We really appreciate your testimony or your appearance here. Yes. If you have any questions,
Mr. Jah.
Commissioner Carr, you have the floor.
Thank you, Chairman. I just have a simple question for the witness. Thank you for your testimony. You've mentioned that when you were transferred to Joswang, you were having some health complications, and you've been tortured in different times according to your testimony. Has that impacted on your health, and how is your health now?
Binga wahene yobu nañ la Joswang amna soppal yo xamne def na ko ci yow ndax lolu sonal na la ci sa wàllu wérgu yaram ak yow ci sa bopp sa jamono ji naka la sa wérgu yaram mel?
Waaw suma wérgu yaram ba léegi wéruma bu baax still now maa ngi feebar.
Up to now, I am not properly healed. Up to now, in fact, I can say that I am still sick.
Su seeda bi jotee nii.
If the place gets cold,
suma joints yi daf lay pain astama suma backbone bi fii.
All my joints will pain me and up to my backbone.
Suma loxo bi daf lay néewi.
My hand used to swell.
Yóbbu naa ko X-ray nañ ko.
I took it to them. They used an X-ray on it.
I amee card fii so traffic so.
I had a card for physiotherapy.
Every time dama doon muna dem foofu gaay di ma ko massage.
Every time I used to go there so that they can massage it for me. My bone moved from its original place, and still it has not been restored. And it was caused by the handcuffs.
Thank you very much. There are no Deputy Chair, please.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, witness. I just want to know where Officer Anabi is at the moment.
Dama buga xam rek Anabi mom fan la nek jamono ji?
Mu ngi mile 2.
He is at mile 2.
In prison or as an officer?
Mom dañ ko fa tecc wala dafa liggéey?
As an officer. Officer la ba legi.
He is still an officer.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. If there are no further questions, if you have any concluding remarks to make, Mr. Jah, please proceed to do so now.
fekkee ne am nga dara loo xam ne bëgg nga koo gaaral mun nga koo def léegi amatuñ yeneen laajte pour yow.
Man li ma am puy waa mooy.
What I have to say, that's it.
Amut kenn koo xam ne kuloo koo xam ne dulut mun a juum.
There is nobody who doesn't make mistakes.
But
if you make a mistake, you should correct yourself. That's the creation of Allah. Even sickness. This is not something that is my own will. I'm appealing. I'm pleading to all Gambians for them to forgive me. If I have offended anybody, please forgive me. There are people with me in the prison as inmates. It's not because they are bad people. They've spent a long time in the prison. There is no type of suffering they didn't encounter. Huh?
Including him.
Including he himself. I'm appealing any way or anyhow they can forgive us. Let them forgive us. As for me, myself, what I learned in the prison is enough. Appealing to the president, let him look back on us. Among the officers also, there are some officers who are very good officers. There are bad ones too. And also pleading, let them also consider the officers. I'm still appealing for forgiveness from everybody. That's what I have.
Thank you very much indeed. The appeal summer process is for you completely over now?
He actually has an appeal that's ongoing in the courts.
Okay, so besides some pardon, there is a possibility of him getting out at some point. And you might have said earlier, I missed it, how old are you now?
37.
You're what?
37.
37. And you are in for life? Yes. That's tough.
And Mr. Chair, I understand that 11 years since his conviction, the appeal is still ongoing.
Well, sorry about that. Thank you again very much for your testimony, and I hope you have a brighter future. We will end our proceedings here today and resume Monday morning, sharp 10 o'clock. Meeting is adjourned. Thank you all very much. Have a nice weekend.
Mr. Chair, again, before you end it, we had agreed that after the testimony I should give this warning to the prison authorities.
Indeed, thank you.
And the officers, the escort party. These witnesses are under the protection of the TRRC. What they have done at the request of the Commission. This is a national duty. So we are asking that the prison authorities protect them from any reprisals or from any punishment. If anybody violates that, it's contempt of the TRRC because that would amount to an interference with a TRRC witness. So bear that in mind and ensure that nothing is done to this witness or any other witnesses who come here to testify. And the TRRC is very serious about that, and we'd also follow this up with a formal letter to the prison authorities. Thank you.
Thank you for the reminder, Council. Thank you all very much. Have a splendid weekend, and we will see you Monday morning. Meeting is adjourned.